Hello again, everyone. So this week we're going to keep moving on into Chapter 2, where we're going to be starting here with Section 2.5, where in Section 2.5 we're basically just describing all the ways that you can deform a graph. That is, we're looking at the transformations, so we're going to get some of the basics of like what our main families of functions we talk about are, at least up to this point, and then the ways that we can transform them with things like stretching, shrinking, shifting, and reflecting around different locations. So it's a lot of graphical interpretation, a lot of graphical pieces. Then in 2.6, we're going to be talking about how you can manipulate and combine functions as well as compositions. So we're going to be looking at being able to identify the domains of functions, then how you can algebraically stick two functions together, and finally how you can compose two functions, one inside of the other. And then from there, we're going to finish with 2.7, where we'll talk about an idea called an inverse function. So we'll see how you can make one, what it sort of looks like, where I'm going to say here that I'm going to try and approach these in a different way than you're probably used to, that hopefully will make them a little bit more intuitive. And then once we have that, we'll talk a little bit about how you can identify if something has an inverse, whether it's 1-to-1 or not, as we'll see, as well as a little bit at the end on graphing. And then for this week, we have a worksheet, pretty standard, but people have been asking about the exam. Now we're finally getting there, because next week on Wednesday, we have a whole lot of deadlines. We have our first units deadlines, chapters 1 and 2, because our first exam will be on that Friday. So, with this week, our pre-assessment is going to be a little bit different. It still is going to be due on Monday, but because we're heading towards that exam, it is particularly going to be on what you guys want to see, what you guys want to review, what you want to talk about as we get closer to that exam. Because we should have time to review in class, and I like to know what you really want to see so I know what to bring. Where you should expect to hear more information about the exam, about what it looks like structurally, as well as a lot about what content you can expect at some point this week. Yeah, we're finally getting there. So let's work our way there with some of this material.